It just so happens that News Center Maine's Jack Mulmid was already working on a story about school resource officers. Jack, it appears districts are taking another look at SROs.
Yeah, Amanda, right now there are around 70 police officers and sheriff's deputies who work exclusively on school grounds in 29 districts. Some districts have a few officers, while others, such as Portland, have none. The shooting in Uvalde, Texas, has sparked yet another conversation about where we should go with school safety. In Uvalde, the police chief of the school district for Robb Elementary did not have his radio with him as a gunman shot and killed 19 students and 2 teachers. That's according to an investigation that's still ongoing.
They should have done something and went in right away.
But aren't they trained to do that? Aren't they trained to this type of situation?
It's something that has small towns across the country and here in Maine talking about whether police belong in schools.
Unfortunately, what happened in Texas started off a chain of conversations with some stakeholders in the community, some parents trying to take an informal pulse.
In Herman, just outside of Bangor, the school district just took its first steps to hiring a resource officer for its 3 campuses. It's something Superintendent Micah Grant says could prevent incidents like Uvalde or Newtown.
And I think we all have a mentality of it won't happen in our town. And I think we have just seen time and time again, we don't have the luxury of thinking that way anymore.
But gun violence prevention advocates say you can't cover all problems with more police.
We have a crisis in this country, and every possible solution should be considered, including, adjusting how SROs are trained, how they're used.
Attorneys representing juvenile cases say most SROs are not trained to prevent a mass shooting, only to stop a mass shooting that's actively happening.
You really need to be thinking about whether you need more social workers to really help these kids work on and resolve and manage their problems.
Amber Miller is another attorney who also taught students with special needs.
Using school resource officers to respond to disability-related behaviors sometimes will land kids in juvenile court, and that's not therapeutic.
Portland Public Schools got rid of its police officers 2 years ago, citing concern from parents and primarily students of color who say they were intimidated during police encounters. Meantime, the Maine Department of Education says it's created a voluntary training for all schools and SROs.
You have to focus on the entire picture. And in order to do that, no one person can do that. You have to work cross-discipline. You have to have that skill set to be able to bring all of the responsible parties together to work towards a common goal, which is school safety.
Herman schools will have the possibility of an officer on campus over a vote scheduled for June 16th. Now, the Maine Department of Education School Safety Center is hosting an in-person and virtual summit for school safety. It takes place June 21st to the 23rd, and anyone related to schools are welcome. The Maine DOE also said that all law enforcement officers should consider this training. You can find out more by going online and clicking on this story.